You could say a year ago tomorrow, Sean Diddy Combs' world imploded. On that date, a surveillance video leaked of his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, being viciously beaten by him in a hotel hallway. But his world would implode further when he was arrested 4 months later for racketeering and sex trafficking. Back then, we suspected that Cassie Ventura might be a witness in the case, and whoa, what a witness she's been. Over the past 4 days, she has captivated the world, and more importantly, a jury inside a New York federal courtroom with claims that Diddy forced her into humiliating, drug-fueled sex marathons with strangers, all for his own amusement. She's told a jury that Diddy beat her, and raped her, and threatened her, and practically used her as a sex slave. But she's also been reading text messages and emails in open court that tell a different story. At times, it appears those freak-offs were her idea and that she loved them. And today, the jury was shown yet another side of Cassie Ventura, and it is a far cry from the quiet and composed mother of two who's 9 months pregnant on the stand. Diddy's lawyers played an unflattering audio recording of Cassie, where she was threatening to kill a DJ who said that he had a sex tape of her that was making the rounds. Her fear that it was one of those videos filmed during the kinky freak-offs. She told the man, quote, "I'm going to effing kill you. You're effing with me. I've never killed anybody in my life, but I will kill you. It's not going to be blood on my hands. Somebody else is going to do it. I will kill you and hide you in the effing dirt." But will that erase the rest of the damage that she did to her one-time boyfriend of 11 years in just 3 days of testimony for the prosecution? I'm joined now by Tarlika Nunez-Navarro, a former judge, prosecutor, and defense attorney who focused on criminal cases, domestic violence, and drug crimes. She's currently the dean of St. Thomas University College of Law. Judge, it's great to have you on. Thanks so much for doing this. I would love to get your thoughts, especially with your background, on the case so far.
Thank you for having me on, Ashleigh. I appreciate it. This is the case everyone is talking about. My law students can't get enough of it. The entire nation is watching. It's like a Super Bowl, a raunchy, nasty Super Bowl, unfortunately. So, it's been a week of testimony, but we have a long way to go. And I think it's way too early to call the shots at this time.
Well, how about this? Because so many people are caught up in the salacious stuff, right? The freak-off descriptions, the baby oil, and all that business. But fewer people are talking about the actual charge at hand, right? Like sex trafficking, racketeering. Do you think that the prosecution thus far, with this star witness in particular, has been able to actually put together a case and show the jury the elements of those crimes, sex trafficking and racketeering?
I do. I think they did a great job for the first week of trial. I mean, we have a long way to go. They have 8 weeks, 8 weeks left. And so they don't have to prove all of the elements in this first week. And I think we've all been very hard on the prosecution. I think they have laid a very solid foundation with Cassie's testimony to date. And I think that they did a wonderful job with the first 3 days. I do think that the defense, when I put my defense hat on, I do applaud them for poking holes in some of her testimony. But I think that the prosecution has done a very solid job thus far.
So let's talk about the really tricky stuff, and that is the nuances of domestic violence. Again, your background in your legal practice has just been remarkable for this. Cassie Ventura told the jury and the courtroom today that she doesn't hate Diddy. Here's a quick series of messages. The defense says, do you hate Combs now? Ventura says, I don't hate him. The defense says, do you still have love for him? And Ventura says, I have love for the past and what it was. Do you think that a jury needs an expert on the stand to explain how tricky domestic violence is, that you can be two things? You can be a victim of domestic violence and be in love with your abuser.
I think we underestimate jurors. They know what's going on. They're in the courtroom. They're watching the body language of the witness. And I think an expert's great, but I don't think it's necessary. I think that You know, this is a standard. This is what we see. When I was on the bench in domestic violence, when I was on the bench in criminal, you would see this in sex traffickers. This is the psychology of abuse. 80% of victims go back to their aggressors or their quote, what the defense would call co-defendants. It's a very slippery slope. Are they part of the racketeering? Are they part of the conspiracy? Or are they threatened? And I think we've all seen with the video that she was scared. And every time that she tried to leave, we all saw what happened. And so I think that's what the prosecution really has to overcome. It's why didn't she leave?
Yeah, well, they certainly wanted to show her as a willing participant and not a coerced sex trafficked victim in all of this. And who knows what the jury will think about the extremely aggressive gangsta-styled audio tape that they heard, which showed her in a very, very different light. It's a fascinating case. It's just great to have you. Thank you so much, Judge Navarro. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Have a great night. Thank you, Ashleigh.
We'll have you back again early and often. And just a quick note, everybody, we did reach out to Sean Combs' legal team for comment, but they didn't get back to us. And I say it every time they don't get back to us at this point, they're in trial. It's too busy. You can't be dealing with the press. I understand why they might not be getting back to us.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.